Welcome back, friends! Last guy here. It's time for more of the Great Ace Attorney voice LP. So I think here's the plan I want to do. Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Part 1, and Deltarune, or Deltarune, whatever. Chapter 2 got announced, and that's a voice LP, so if you're a fan of the voice LPs, we'll do that, and then we'll go do Great Ace Attorney Part 2. Let's get back into this. Last episode was probably my favorite episode. I think we performed very well there, despite screwing up Zeke's voice. You know, let's just say the wine's messing with his voice. Here we go, let's get back into it. What the witnesses really saw. There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing occurred. Transpired, if that matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both the attacker's hands with blood on them. But I didn't actually see anything myself, no. Not until I heard that scream. Anyway, the fact remains. There can't have been anyone else inside that carriage, or we all would have seen. But we know the gloves only have blood on one hand. Well, lo and behold. In truth or fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it. That's really not what testimony is about. Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's accounts. In other words, there is no substantial, nor insignificant change in the facts of the case. Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel. Yes, my lord. Every time they say my lord, I just think of Warcraft. Yes, my lord. Okay, what the witnesses really saw. Okay, time to press. 5 things to press. No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We had the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record. I'm well aware of that, sir, but nevertheless, I know what I saw, and I stand by it. The man had blood on both his hands. He's defiant even in the face of hard evidence. He's steadfastly refusing to admit that he might be mistaken about what he saw, but why? Your reasoning is dire. One hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged. Minutes after the grim crime, the victim's blood dripped guiltily on the accused's fingers. That's not good enough to me. That's not good enough in any way. Hold it! Don't try to downplay this. Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime is the matter of fundamental importance as well, you know. But for crying out loud, we all know that no one else could possibly have done it. I just, trying to save us all some time. Sure you are, bro. You have a loan of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, do you not? Had you hoped to release yourself from that financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty? That's not entirely not what I was hoping for. I just lost a little guinea at 10 when I backed wrong horse in the derby, that's all. I was going to win it all back. There's a fixture this weekend that's a sure thing. A little guinea or 10. I'm a banker. No one bats an eye if I borrow a little spending money for the weekend. I should tell the story of... There was a couple who thought that they collected the rent for an apartment complex, and they're like, we'll double the money. They went down to Vegas, put $31,000 on black, and lost. Obviously, they lost their job. I think you may have revealed more about your character than you bargained for, sir. This witness's scruples are not on trial here. Proceed to the next witness. Is that really how it's supposed to work? By the way, they got to live in the hotel for free, or the apartment for free. It was a very nice deal. They were dumb. Okay. Press. You definitely saw that too. Blood on both hands? Golly, yes sir, yes sir. I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Mr. McGillicud's gloves has any signs of blood on it. That's right. The thing is, as far as I remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGillicud sitting beside the fella, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir. He wasn't wearing those gloves? That's correct, sir. And I saw the blood on both his hands, but bare hands quite clearly. It's true that the dark-colored stain on the dark leather gloves wouldn't have been easy to see. I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported that there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGillicud's gloved hands. What? There wasn't blood on his hands? This is puzzling indeed. This must be significant somehow, I'm sure of it. You know how hard it is to wash blood out of your hands? It takes a little bit of time. And obviously the blood would go somewhere. And you don't have water in a carriage. You can't wipe blood off easily. Blood gets everywhere. Everywhere! Speaking from experience. Everywhere! You didn't see anything? Yes, sir. No, sir, I didn't. Very sorry about what you said before, sir. Very sorry, sir. It was very wrong of me to make up stories and say I saw him stab the man. God, that is messing with my throat. When you agree, sir? I know what you're insinuating, but I certainly wasn't making up stories. Still, to say you saw nothing isn't right either, is it? No, sir. I saw nothing, sir, at all. Mr. Beppo, you are driving your horses. At the very least, you must have enjoyed a good view of the London streets, no? Oh, please. You didn't even see that. It was so cold that night to see how you could do to keep from passing out, sir. Yes, Mr. Head was fairly frozen solid, so sorry to say, sir. It would seem prudent to avoid travel on the last omnibus service of London's cold winter nights. Beppo! And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus? That's right. I was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over. Oh yes, I remember I was shivering, it was so bitter. Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place. Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh, why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. It was locked? That's right, and it's a public bus service, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play. Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gem inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up onto the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below. Well, I can assure you I wasn't just looking down, I was glaring, long and hard. And that's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say. I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? They might not have been able to. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, music change. Were they in the front or back? You're in this omnibus. I witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the floor of the upper deck, is that right? That's right, yes. In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. What? Oh my god, he said it himself! By golly, really? Oh my god, he says it himself! Ooh, psychic! Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied. That at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here, in the flesh. Still trying to find that Zeke's voice. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You will identify the area on the cross-sectional plan with the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated? Good question! Where? Yeah, they could see here. Yeah, over here. You can only see that side. You'd have to be over here, looking back over here. Where's that?
Take that!
Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel. Whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other. Which means the visible part of the cabin which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight is as I've drawn here. Oh! That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one in which the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it. But
Objection!
it's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. Your Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity. Huh? I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. Yeah, bullshit. In every court of law, you can be very ambiguous and still win. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude. Can you, Miss Naruhodo? I don't think we can. I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof deck? Oh, this isn't good, but I don't think we have an idea. Look at our people. These are the only people we could say. Right? We have no one we could possibly accuse. I have no idea! I have literally no idea. But as a proud citizen of the Japanese Empire, you will look to the sky and walk out, making sure all signs of tears are gone. Go on. This isn't just a case of going on, Mr. Sato. Alright then, I'll go on. Defense would like to put forward a name. Oh my god, we're doing it anyway! Put forward a name. You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned. Let us not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat. This could be it. This could be a chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from the view was... I don't know! Oh, you got me right now, game. Oh, Magnus McGilden's the man they didn't see. Oh, there you go. That's how you do it.
Take that!
The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded. Mr. McGilded?
What are you talking about, Counsel? The same with the defendant.
Exactly!
Objection!
The wine!
If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy. Lord Von Zeeks, that stain's gonna take forever to get out. People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learned culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly.
Why does it feel so racist every time people talk about the Japanese in this game? Holy crap! Is it like that in the Japanese version? Because it feels really racist right now. What are you trying to say?
Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand.
I got the gavel back.
When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong.
What?
If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, Counsel?
The defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection!
Exactly! The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, the testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on the passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party?
Obviously, the true culprit.
Extraordinary! Oh there, oh there, oh there. What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
The defense's postulation is just that, nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces.
Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I could see the rest of them, though.
Yes, that's right. Both gents were mostly certainly hatted. How does you tend to notice such things, sir?
And what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First?
I'm afraid I don't remember. And you call yourself a hatter?
The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin.
How can you be sure?
Because if there had been, the accused Mr. McGilded would undoubtedly have offered to depose the fact.
Huh, good point.
Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled.
Ah. Kinda, yeah. He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of that.
Oh there! There is clearly a simple solution to this problem. Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand. Well, what say you, counsel? The prosecution objects, my lord. On what grounds?
That he'll lie?
As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police.
But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely?
Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act. Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord, should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify or not? How else are we going to get any information? Demand his testimony. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Ah, yes, I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say. Get the man out here, I say. It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say? Oh yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says the man must be heard.
Damn, his voice and the other voice are getting too close.
Very well, the court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
The judge's voice is supposed to be a little lighter, while the head juror is supposed to be a bit deeper. Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. Okay, we are at 20 minutes. This is going to take another 40, because we're doing an hour episode.
Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure I have, my lord. I already forgot this guy's voice.
There are now two matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police?
Begad, no. 'Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all.
Just answer the questions, please.
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell yous all, or keep me mouth shut? Tell us what, Mr. McGilded? The fine fellow represented me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true.
Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened. You! What? Thing is, he has rings on his hands. Why are there... Wouldn't there be blood on his rings too? Oh no, gloves, right, forget it. God, who wears gloves and rings under the... Yeah.
No, Magnus McGilded, that convenient excuse can't save you now.
I'm sure you say I am, Lord Van Zieks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you. I have voices everywhere.
Which was?
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and not in any way involved, you see.
What?
If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have hauled her into this here courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord.
And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
Aye, well, the wee thing had just happened to be in the carriage at night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection!
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness's statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings. What? Bang! The hell? Ah! Smoke! Ah! Fire! There's a fire! It's a ninja! Look, someone's trying to get away! Got after them! There's no use! Go! I can't see anything through all the smoke. What is going on? Be careful, Miss Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. Time to deliver presents.
We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff. Amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. I say we look inside the carriage, and we're gonna find them in the carriage. If it's a child. Alright, we're gonna... Oh, jeez, it's only 26 minutes. I guess we're gonna keep going. This is a good stopping point. But it's a little early, so we're gonna do a little bit of the next part. A little bit. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. You know? Just 1 hour later. just a little itty bitty bit. Okay, let's just do that. Okay, here we go. 18th February, 12:52 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened. It was a ninja. Mr. Sato. I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. Oh yeah? A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. Just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear. They're always 15! What is with this? Is the killer gonna be 15 in every case? Wait, who was the killer in the first case? It was also a lady! Is a lady the killer in every case? A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger Mr. McGilder was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become Mr. McGilden, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions. Along with a young girl. Who is she, I wonder? I assume she's related to the Brickfire guy. And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. She's probably trying to find the actual killer. What's that? The 20 pence, right? If there was a fifth person and they were getting overcharged, they had to sneak into the carriage somehow. Does this mean there were maybe 4 people in there? Maybe the girl was hidden under the seats when the killing happened? This is my guess right now, that there is still another person. Oh, according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. Yeah, but the urchin was able to sneak in, anyone else could sneak in too. But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers. Which means the figures don't seem to add up again. Ah, she's right, that's strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. Where'd that voice come from? The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. Well, no, soon enough, Mrs. Sato. Yes, and considering Sasato was able to, take down Rinosuke multiple times, someone 15 could definitely kill somebody then. And also, I forgot her name, murdered Kazuma. Teenagers, just killing everybody. Crazy teenager. 18th February, 1 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. There she is. Alright, curious. Oh great, I need to do a girl voice. This young girl next to Mr. McGilton. Look! She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. I gotta look at the box art a second. Nope, it's not her. Okay. Well, after that...
Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Von Zeeks. My lord.
I need to get more throaty. Not more throaty, but get the center of my mouth with Zeeks. That might be better.
I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which derailed proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious, the army! What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery. But she was caught.
Nope, that still needs work.
And now occupies the stand.
Still needs work.
Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? You're gonna get cold if you don't answer. What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
She deaf? She can't be deaf. If I may, my lord.
Yes, Mr. McGilded.
I think perhaps I have to explain here why it is that this wee lass were in the first place and why she tried to bolt like that. It is all tied up with the events of that night, so it is. I think my voice changed for this guy. I was like,
Very well, Mr. McGilded, give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Guess what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything, right? Tell your defense lawyer everything, even if you're guilty. They will still try to defend you. It's crazy. The young girl. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I set him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from. And bless my soul, what did I find? The guy on the floor had to... If it's the murder, then there would be blood on the floor. There's a child in there all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Oh, she was under the seat.
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess, but from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus, is that correct?
It is exactly as the defense counsel said. This lass was the 5th passenger, my lord. He would have seen blood on her hands if she was the killer, though.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. I'm not happy with anything I'm doing for Zeke's. I'm still searching for that voice. The young girl. We're gonna see Zeke's again, I'm sure, so I gotta find it. Okay, we got time to do something depressing. Let's go. And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were none. The cabin was empty and there was no one on the roof deck either.
You're the first passenger, as a rule? I see.
Aye, and that's why I took the back side as I did. It's the most comfortable it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, just how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Question to that. Then begorra. Alright, next. A loud thud, you say? And a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? It was like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed? Well now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound awoke me, and I opened my eyes, There wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fella on the floor. Ah, you didn't see anyone. But at the same time, you did hear a scream.
Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume?
Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. That's how we discovered the girl. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the screaming. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes.
Hold it!
You sat him up, the victim, you mean? That I did, on the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is.
I find that a little hard to believe.
Now that's going too far to the judge.
I find that a little hard to believe.
Okay, something like that. No, it's still going to the judge.
I find that a little hard to believe.
Nope, 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 nope. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I don't like it, I don't like it. Damn it. Back to gravel.
I find that a little hard to believe.
We'll find something. Ah, Lord Zanziks. Now why would that be?
You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman.
No, that's still the judge. Where am I going?
Any upstanding member of London society, that is.
Still looking. Well, now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest.
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle of trouble. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no. I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only I had a mind to find out the whys and wheres first. The whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before. Anyone else got to meddling? That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yeah. The scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. Then I turned to find out where the scream...
Hold it!
I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is... What do you mean by that? Well, now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard was as I awoke. It came from, if you excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. Yep, in there.
Good gracious!
Under your backside? When I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage. Listen now, hold on. We can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? We saw it already. Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence. Yeah, let's look at it again really quick. We already saw this, but let's go in there. With new information, maybe it causes us to learn more things here. And we want to see the back seat, which is this one. And we already looked at this. Yeah, we looked there. There were supplies there a minute ago. Where's the supplies? This is storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Wait. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on it. What is it? You mean the crap that was in there? There was crap in there. Where'd that crap go? There was totally crap in there last time. Alright. This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside. I just did. And that's when I found her. Wait, did I read something? There's a child in there all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
Hold it!
She had to have been in there first. You say she was hiding herself? Hey, that's right. It was hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball when our eyes met. Well, my heart nearly stopped beating in my chest. You're really overacting this. Still, in all,
I pulled her out from there under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chinwag with her.
The seat opposite? After the murder happened?
That's right, just next to the gentleman there.
You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir?
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream, a fella's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the rooftop seats. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and gentleman with the knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGill. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason.
Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight.
This is getting more confusing, what?
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl.
After that, of course. With the scream for the gentleman above us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses.
Thank you, I've heard enough. Events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who the balls is this girl?
Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord.
Lestrade? Where is Lestrade from? Lestrade is a very familiar name. I'll look that up later.
He's a chancer, earns a crust among large crowds, relieving people with their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket.
What?
This girl here, a petty thief?
Look up Lestrade, look up Lestrade, look up Lestrade.
Order, order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade?
Lestrade? Lestrade.
Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question.
Gone! Oh shit!
Oh! Woo-hoo-hoo! How dare you! What is the meaning of this? You're totally getting coal.
Oh snap, she's out.
Ah! The girl! She's gone.
Open your eyes. I'm over here.
Good gracious, how?
What was the point in that little side stuff? I know what you're looking at, thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. 'Tis dirty little Dipper, you say. Slipped up and got caught in the job. She got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your head, ain't it?
This is a bad voice. I need to find a voice for her. You know, it'd be great? Brave. The girl from Brave would be perfect. For no good reason, that's the voice I would think for her. No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast. Gun! Ah! Ah. He just stood there and took it, by the way.
Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, right? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do.
Smooth animation with the coin, by the way. Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs?
Oh, this. Yeah, this was in a bag I left it the other day. Down where they keep the four-wheeled drags.
That's gotta be Sherlock Holmes's.
It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink best.
Ah, do not wave that thing in my direction again.
Ah, Inspector Lestrade, that's who I thought. Oh, they appear in Sherlock Holmes's. This might be the girl. What? Gotta look at her again. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go talk to Jinx and see what idea she has for a voice, because I am just struggling with this guy.
So,
You admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question.
Like, I'm trying to do like a Dracula voice, but I can't do a Dracula voice at all. And I'm not trying to do Netflix's Dracula. I'm trying to just find like a gravelly, sophisticated voice. And I'm not finding it. Like, okay, here's Edgeworth. It's like, so you admit you were riding the omnibus on the night in question. That's Edgeworth. Let's grab it.
So you admit you were hiding the omnibus on the night in question.
That's a little better. You don't name a character Lestrade and not have them be the person who teams up with Holmes, but it doesn't look like the girl on the cover. Maybe it is, but oh, okay. We still haven't seen that girl either, so I don't know. Gina Lestrade? Inspector G. Lestrade. So they, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a direct reference to Holmes. Okay, alright. Let's get back to it. We'll be stopping soon.
Tis alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now. Alright, yeah. That was just like the Irishman said. The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please.
We're gonna stop there.
Go on. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question.
Alright, if I have to. Okay, we're gonna stop right there. Something between these two is gonna have one be nervous, though, and that's the question. It's gotta be more than McGilded. What if McGilded is the killer? There's a chance there's a sixth party. There's a sixth person who did the kill and got the hell out. That's the only other thing I can think of now. It's that or McGilded did it. Because it's hard to believe they just mistook her for a gentleman. Okay. Maybe from up... I hit my hat. Maybe from up there? I don't know. But that's it for now. That is the game. I had fun. Hope if I'm watching, that's what's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.